Citizens speak out. As protesters persevere in their calls for basic human rights and improved living conditions, they continue to gather in solidarity in countries such as Bahrain, Canada, Kosovo, Kuwait, Libya, Palestine, Peru, Syria, US, and Yemen.
United States. President Barack Obama announced on Wednesday, June 22nd, plans to withdraw 10,000 US troops from Afghanistan by the end of 2011, and 1/3, or 33,000, of the approximately 100,000 troops by the end of summer 2012.
Tonight, we take comfort in knowing that the tide of war is receding. Fewer of our sons and daughters are serving in harm's way.
In his address to the nation, he stated that the country could not afford to spend billions fighting foreign wars and instead needed to put the money to work helping people at home, while also emphasizing that the Afghan army was making progress in being able to assume responsibility for the nation's security.
The light of a secure peace can be seen in the distance. These long wars will come to a responsible end.
The UK, Germany, the UN, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and Afghan President Hamid Karzai all expressed support for President Obama's plan, with some US legislators who are calling for even more troops to be withdrawn. Following the president's speech, British Prime Minister David Cameron and French President Nicolas Sarkozy announced similar accelerations of troop withdrawals, while British Foreign Secretary William Hague, in an unannounced visit to Afghanistan on Wednesday, admitted that his country is holding peace talks with the Taliban.
Canada. Hundreds of Canadians protested Wednesday in a rally organised by human rights group Kairos, calling for the government to honour its commitment as a signatory of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples by implementing a sustainable clean water plan, increasing education, and receiving full consent before developing lands belonging to Indigenous peoples.
Kosovo. Thousands of people in Kosovo marched peacefully on Wednesday to protest corrupt politicians and misuse of public funds, with security forces permitting the protest to occur without incident.
Kuwait. Kuwaiti Prime Minister Sheikh Nasser Mohammed Al Ahmad Al Sabah survived a no-confidence vote on Thursday, with legislators affirming continued cooperation with the premier despite protesters' calls for his resignation. Meanwhile, in an interview with Reuters news agency, ruling family member Sheikh Fahad Salem Al Ali Al Sabah called for the country to learn from the protest movements across the region and to accelerate political reform.
Peru. Around 5,000 students at Peru's National University of Huancavelica, located in the nation's most disadvantaged province, clashed with police on Tuesday as part of ongoing demonstrations since June 14th to protest the construction of a new university that they say would drain the existing resources of their school. 3 people died, including 1 police officer, while another 32 were injured. A local official announced the matter was being referred to the Peruvian cabinet to ensure a harmonious solution.
Palestine. The Palestinian News Network reported that Israeli soldiers and private security guards in the West Bank territory attacked a group of peaceful Palestinian villagers from Deir Qadis who were demonstrating along with Israeli and international supporters to protest the expansion of the Israeli Neely settlement into 125 acres of Palestinian farmers' land.
Syria. On Wednesday, the European Union reached an agreement to extend sanctions against 7 more individuals involved in the repression of Syrian protesters, bringing the total to 23 people and entities under an asset freeze and travel ban, including Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
Meanwhile, the Turkish Red Crescent stated on Thursday that an additional 600 Syrian refugees joined the estimated 11,000 already in Turkey, as they fled raids from the Syrian army in their home villages of Magna and Kirbat al-Joz near the border. Despite pledges reiterated this week by the Syrian government toward a national dialogue process to bring peace and enact government reforms, activists reported that security forces attacked protesters on Tuesday, resulting in at least 7 deaths in Homs, Hama, and Deir al-Zur.
Also on Tuesday, after some students had refused to participate in pro-government rallies at Damascus University, witnesses and activists reported that security forces killed 3 students while detaining dozens more as they raided dormitories on campus.
Bahrain. US State Department spokesperson Mark Toner expressed concern over the Bahraini military courts sentencing of peaceful minority party leaders to severe sentences, including life imprisonment.
Libya. Human Rights Watch reported that Libyan forces have placed landmines in at least 6 different regions, the most recent being more than 150 of a difficult-to-detect type in the Nafusa Mountains, south of Tripoli, which now pose a threat to citizens' lives. On Wednesday, Italian Foreign Minister Franco Frattini called for a suspension of the conflict in Libya to allow humanitarian aid to reach victims in need. He also emphasized that the risk of killing citizens was unacceptable, referring to the recent civilian casualties committed accidentally by the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO forces, whose mission has been to protect citizens from Libyan government forces.
On Thursday, British Defence Secretary Liam Fox stated that the UK has lost £260 million so far in the nation's participation in NATO operations in Libya, costs much higher than originally estimated.
With shared sorrow for those who have perished, the injured as well as those who suffer, we continue to pray for all strife to subside and for people in nations the world over to choose to live in sovereign freedom, dignity and peace.